So, good morning, students. Today we are to discuss the third lecture of automobile engineerings. Okay, so you see, guys, here in lecture number third. So, what is our today's title? Resistance to the motion of the vehicles. Means when vehicles is moved from one place to another place, what type of the resistance is faced by this vehicle? This will be discussed. So, see here. The main forces which oppose the motion of the vehicles. When the vehicles is moved from one place to another place, what type of the forces is opposed to you? Look at here, rolling resistance, wind or air resistance, or third is what is gradient resistance. These are the three resistances oppose the vehicle direction. Suppose vehicle move in this direction, so these are the three resistance act in that directions. Means they are opposite to each others. So first of all, we discuss what is the rolling resistance. What is the symbol? The symbol is R, suffix R. So what is here? It is mainly due to the friction between the wheels, tires and a road surface. This is called as the rolling frictions. Okay, and it depends upon the following factors. Means we can understand this is the road, this is the vehicle tires. Okay, this is the road and this is the tires. So friction between the wheel, tire and road, that is called as the rolling resistance, is depend upon the following factors. Which one? Load on each road wheels, okay, type of tire tread, wheel inflation pressure and nature of the road surface. So these are the four factors on which rolling resistance depends. Means load on each road wheels. Means suppose there are four wheels, okay, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So how much load is acting on each vehicles? Type of the tire tread, what type of the tire, wheel inflation pressure, means how much air is inflated inside the wheels, tires, and nature of the road surface. What is the nature? It is rough or smooth. So on these all factors, this rolling resistance is dependent, guys. Now another here, if you observe in that figure, in that concept, guys, third one is what is, it is measured in kg. So we know the this units, the resistance measured in what is in kg or newtons, and it is expressed as kg per ton or newton per tons, because we know the weight of the vehicles, in tons, they are huge tons, and how much friction will be there in the road surface and these tires, so what is in measured in newton per ton of the vehicle weight, or as a percentage of the vehicle weight will be there. So rolling resistance or average type of road surface between 1 to 2% of the vehicle weight. So this is the main important points. Means what is the rolling resistance there? 1 to 2% vehicle weight. So if we calculate in formula what is rolling resistance, so R KR into W. So this KR is the constant of rolling resistance and this W is the total weight of the vehicles. So this is the simple formula, guys. Here by using this formula we have to calculate the rolling resistance. Okay, now another concept, guys, wind or air resistance. If you observe in wind or air resistance, this is the second resistance for the motion of the airs. Okay, so what is this type of resistance? Depend upon the following factors. What are the factors? The shape and size of the vehicle body. Means what is the shape? It is small size, or it is a means two-wheeler or four-wheelers, heavy weight or low weight. We know the low vehicles, heavy weight motor vehicles. So what type of the vehicles we have? Then air velocity. What is the wind velocity which oppose the motion? 3 meter per second or 5 meter per second, depending on that all following factors. And speed of the vehicles. What is the speed of our vehicles? 50 or 60 or 80, whatever meter per seconds. So this is depend on these conditions. So first of all, we see here it increases as the square of vehicle speed, owing to which much importance is given to the streamline and frontal area of the modern automobiles. In calculating the air resistance or air velocity is usually neglected. So what is calculated? We calculate with this formula. Means air resistance is equal to K into A into V squares. So what is here? K is the coefficient of air resistance, A is the projectile front area. This is our vehicle, suppose. Okay, this is our vehicle. Suppose this is the frontal area, front portions, and this is the side of the wind will be there. So this is the front portions area, and V is the what is the vehicle speed. So what is the formula there? RA KA V square. Now third resistance, what is called as gradient resistance. It is shown by the letter R suffix G. So this resistance is due to the steepness of a road gradients. What type of the road condition will be there? It is subject to vehicle weight and the road gradients. Okay, so it does not depend upon the vehicle speed, it depend upon the road conditions. To gradient resistance, what is Rg is equal to W upon G, or we can write down W into sine theta. Okay, if gradient expresses angular dimension, means like that. If you road is bank situations, this is our vehicle, this is the normal force. So in that case, this is we getting the what is this W is what is in n sine theta conditions. Okay, this n is the weight of the vehicles. We know that W is equal to mg. So this is R is equal to W upon G, or this W is replaced by in sine theta in vehicle in inclined positions on the roads. So W is the total weight of the vehicle, G is the gradients, and theta is the inclination. For small value, tan theta, or we can write down the sine theta. Okay. When the vehicle is moved along a level road, the total resistance what is? Total is this RR plus RA. Means what is this RR? We know that this wind air resistance. Okay. This we know the air resistance. So while moving up the gradients, total resistance what is? This RR, RA and RG. So whatever the resistance we have to discuss here, rolling resistance plus wind or air resistance, and total is what is? The another is the gradient resistance. The total resistance opposed the vehicle is what is? RR plus RA plus RG, guys. Now another is very important is term related with a vehicle in motions. So what are these conditions? You see here. So first factor is what is the term related with vehicle motions. When vehicle is in motion conditions, the vehicle is moved from one place to another. So what are the conditions required there? You see, guys, in that concept. So which one? First is the tractive effects, second is tractions, third is accelerations, fourth number is what is gradability, then for another is fifth number is what is drop or pull. So these are the 5 term is required here. Let's we discuss here, guys. What is this concept? You see here now. So first of all, we discuss the tractive effect. What is? It is the force available at the points of contact between the rear wheel of the tire and the roads. That is called as the tractive effects. Suppose this is the vehicles, this is the front wheel, and this is the rear wheel. So this rear wheel and this road is contact, that is the which type of the force will be there? Tractive efforts. Another second traction, what is? It is ability of the rear wheel to transmit the tractive effort without slipping. Okay, most important, without slipping. Therefore the tractive effort is always less than tractions. This tractive effort is always less than tractions. Means the vehicle is not slip, vehicle is properly move along the roads. Now another student is what is there? Accelerations. So what is the meaning of the accelerations? Acceleration means we know the rate of change of velocity with respect to time, that is called as the accelerations. So what is here? Depending upon the moment of inertia and a gear ratio. We know the moment of inertia is I of the vehicles, and gear ratio, what type of the gear ratio will be there? So the rotating parts of the vehicles are also accelerated due to the acceleration of the vehicles. So this result increase the weight of the vehicles. We know the formula I is equal to mr r squares. So this rotating radius is increases. Okay, so this moment of inertia is also increases. Now fourth number is what is gradability. So what is in gradability, guys? It is the maximum percentage of the grade negotiated by a vehicle under the full rated conditions, that is called as the gradability. And drawbar pull, what is, if the extra load attached to the vehicle is pulled by fully utilizing excess power, that is called as a drawbar pull. This extra load, suppose this is our vehicle's capacity is suppose 100 kg and we carry the weight is about what is 120 kg, so that is called as the drawbar pulls. Now another concept we have to discuss here now, power unit or engine. The first of all we define the definition of the engine, guys. What is engine will be theirs. So what is the engine? An engine is a device, okay, an engine is a device which transfer the one form energy into another form, which transfer the energy from one form to another form, that is called as what is engines. Simply way, normally most of the engine cover thermal energy into mechanical energy. We know the combustion of the petrol, that is thermal energy converted into the mechanical energy, our vehicle will be moved. Therefore they are called as the heat engines. That's why in thermodynamics we learn that is called as the heat engine, guys. There's yes or no? Yes. Now another, guys, if you observe here, what is the heat engine can be broadly classified into two categories. One is internal combustion engine, that is IC engine. Another is what is external combustion engine, that is EC engine. So classification of internal combustion engine, what is we classify? Energy is used to produce power. We know the function of the engine to produce power. This is the power produced. Third is what is the chemical energy in a fuel is converted to heat by burning of the fuel at a controlled rate. This process is called as combustions. So we know the fuel combustion takes place in the engine and we get the powers. If the combustion occurs within the power chamber, the engine is called as internal combustion engines. Okay, the combustion happened inside the engine power chamber. So internal combustion engine are two types. One is the rotary engines and second is what is reciprocating engines. So in reciprocating there are two types, two stroke or four stroke engine. Another is a petrol and diesel engines. So this is the simple diagram of the internal combustion engines. We observe in two-wheeler, four-wheeler, our all vehicles are operated nowadays. What is internal combustion engines? So what is the function? So converts the potential chemical energy of a fuel into heat energy, then mechanical energies to perform useful work. That is the function of the internal combustion engine, guys. We know that the combustion of the petrol is nothing but the fuel is chemical. We getting the heat and this heat is transferred in the form of mechanical energy. Then another is what is chemical, what is required? Heat is required, the chemical supply the heat is delivered into our mechanicals. So classification of the power developing system here, guys. So you see here what is the in power way, what is we can explain. So on the basis of the fuel use, what type of the fuel we have to use there, on the basis of the fuels, what is we do here, see guys, if you observe on the basis of the fuel use, petrol engine, diesel engine, gas engines. Okay, so on the basis of number of stroke is used, 4-stroke engine, 2-stroke engines. On the basis of thermodynamic cycle, Otto cycle, diesel cycle, Dewey cycle, guys. Okay, then method of ignition fuel, spark ignition system, compressed ignition system. Then another, if you observe, is what is there, method of coolings. So in method of coolings, what is we observe, guys? We observed here method of coolings, water cooled engine, air cooled engine. Then engine cylinder arrangement, what is, the cylinder is inline, all in cylinder one line. Opposite cylinder arrangement, they are opposite to each other. V type of the engine, another is a delta type of the engine, and another is what, a radial type of the engines. So this is the simple diagram of the 4-stroke petrol engines. Okay, so let's we discuss now this basic engine components and nomenclatures. First of all, we discuss the cylindrical block. So this is the cylindrical block. Inside there is a piston is reciprocated, guys. So this is the simple design of the cylindrical box. We observed here. These are the cylinder bores. This is the coolant passage. This is the thread stud hole here. Mounting for water pump for cooling purpose. Hole for push rods. Mounting for fuel pump. Mounting for distributor. Mounting for oil filter will be there. main bearing, supports and crankshaft fit here, and camshaft bearing will be there. And this is the total designing. So if you whatever I have done here, you see here, this is the cylinder bore. Inside that the piston will be reciprocates. So let's we discuss this, what is cylinder block, how it is work will be, guys. So you see, so the cylinder block is the main supporting structure of the various components. This is the main parts. The cylinder of a multi-cylinder engine is cast as a single units called as the cylinder block, guys. The cylinder head is mounted on the cylinder block. The cylinder head and cylinder block are provided with water jackets in the case of water cooling, with cooling fins in the case of air coolings. So cylinder head gasket is incorporated between the cylinder block and cylinder head, guys. The cylinder head is held tight to the cylinder block by a number of bolts or studs. The bottom portion of the cylinder block, it is called as the crankcase. A cover called crankcase, which becomes sump for lubricating oil, is fastened to the bottom of the crankcase. And the inner surface of the cylinder block, which machines and finish accurately the cylindrical shape, is called a bore or face. So we know this, there is a in all details here: crankcase, crankshaft, there is a silencer, there is an exhaust valve, inlet valve, rocker arm, push rod, inlet manifold, engine throttles, petrol tank, petrol power supply, carburetor, guys, air inlet for suctions. This is a cylinder. This is the what is controlling rod. This is the crank. These are the roller. This is the cam. This is the crankcase. This is the gear, exhaust. This is magneto will be there. This is the high tension cables. This is the cooling fins to cool the engine. There is a parts plug for combustions. So these are the various components. We will discuss cylinder block. Now another, what is cylinder. Let's discuss one by one. So this is the main impiles. It is a cylindrical vessel or a space in which the piston makes a reciprocating. We know this is the cylinder in which the piston is reciprocated up and down. The varying volume created in the cylinder during the operation of the engine filled with working fluid and subject to different thermodynamic process. The cylinder is supported to the cylinder block will be there. So we know though in piston cylinder, this is piston cylinder arrangement. The cylinder is reciprocated up and down. This is TDC position, BDC, and we know this is the TDC position. The piston move up and down. This is the spark plug will be there and power will be produced. Piston. These components we know this is called as the piston will be there. So it is cylindrical component fitted into the cylinder and forming the movable boundary of the combustion system. Okay, this form the boundary TDC and BDC. It fits perfectly into the cylinder, providing the gas tight space with the piston rings and lubricants. So it forms the first link in transmitting the gas forces to the output of the shaft. So there is a process: compression, expansion, power stroke and exhaust. So due to the motion of the piston up and down, the power will be produced. Another is combustion chamber. So the paste enclosed in the upper part of the cylinder by the cylinder head. We know that this is the piston. This is cylinder head. In that portion there is a combustion chamber will be there. The piston top during the combustion process, when piston move in top positions. Okay, this is TDC. We know the top dead center. The combustion chamber, the combustion of the fuel and consequent release of the thermal energy resulting into the building the pressure in this part of the cylinder, guys. Now this is the last one we discuss here: inlet manifold. This is the design. This is the exhaust manifold, the pipe which connect the intake system. Okay, this is our engine cylinder. There is the inlet. This is the intake manifold, and this is the outlet manifold. This is the, we know the pistons. This is cylinder. This is piston. There is a spark plug. Okay. So through the inlet valve of the engine, through which the air fuel mixture is drawn into the cylinder, is called as inlet manifolds. Exhaust manifold, what is the pipe that connects the exhaust system. This is the exhaust system, is silencer, exhaust system to exhaust valve of the engine, and through which the product of the combustion expressed into the atmosphere. It is called as the exhaust manifold, guys. Okay. So this is our today's discussions. So in next lecture we will be discuss the inlet and exhaust valve or connecting rod. So I stop here guys. Thank you very much.